In this video, I interview Reverse Polarity and Madison Hatter 2, a powerhouse dynamic duo who are at the heart of UGC at Roblox. They share how they got started in the space, as well as some insights on what it's actually like to run a UGC business on the platform. This video is the first of a 3-part series. After this interview, they take me, a beginner who's never made a UGC item, and in 2 other videos, they teach me how to model and texture an item from scratch and then upload it to the marketplace. Let's learn! So, Reverse, Madison, how did you get started into UGC?
I actually joined back in 2006, and in 2007, my brother and I worked on the first ever Halloween event. So I watched him make the Riddling Skull, and that actually is what inspired me to get into making 3D models. And then back in 2019, the UGC program came out. I was well enough known that they invited me because I had done some 3D modeling work. And wow, after that, things went crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. I only knew about Roblox from Reverse. Reverse, you got into the UGC program, and it kind of evolved into, oh, can you give me some help here with some texturing stuff? Because I just happened to do digital art as a hobby, so I would help him here and there. And then,
as I recall, what actually happened was I was trying really hard to do texture work, and I sucked at it. And Madison was like, hey, can I try to maybe tinker with this? And within a month, she was better than me, even though I'd been doing it for 7 years.
What a flex! What would you say to someone who's just starting out and wanting to get into making UGC as a beginner?
I think the best part about it is that neither Madison or I were educated in this. All of it is self-taught. Like I mentioned, I got inspired by my brother, and I just downloaded Blender and went right into it.
And I'm also self-taught with all of the art that I've done, and that's one of the best things about the Roblox community and the digital age we're in now, of you can just go on YouTube, look up how to do digital art, how to texture, how to use Photoshop or Krita, or figure out how to do it yourself.
Totally agree, which is kind of where this video series comes in, where the two of you can actually teach a bit of what you know with the modeling and the texturing. But before we get to the technical stuff in the other videos, could you share a bit about UGC as a business and some insights from that side of things?
So if you're going to want to upload UGC and sell it, there are a couple things to keep in mind. There are upload fees of 750 Robux. This is standard across all items. Just to go through moderation, you have to pay the 750 Robux. After that, there's also a publishing advance. This is a point of intimidation for some people, but don't worry, it's not as bad as it looks. The publishing advance is different depending on the type of item it is. But unlike the upload fee, which you don't get back, the publishing advance, while you haven't recuperated the amount of money you spent on the publishing advance, your item earns 70% of the Robux instead of the normal 30%. There's more information on this page you can check out, but what that means brass tacks is if you're making a hat, that's going to cost you $1,500 in your publishing advance. Well, until you make back that publishing advance, let's say you sell it at 95 Robux, which is I think the current marketplace minimum. If you sell a hat at 95 Robux, that's going to be 70% of 95 is 66.5. So you only need to make 23 sales before you make back that money.
So say somebody gets through all of that. What does it look like for the two of you when you're at this point of putting a UGC item out onto the marketplace?
Well, there's a lot of ways that you can kind of promote your stuff or your brand that you want to represent. We have things like Twitter or X, I guess. Got a TikTok page and Instagram. That way people can see your stuff and they can comment on it and tell you if they like it or don't like it and give you their feedback.
Yeah, something we haven't mentioned, by the way, is you can upload your items to your profile, which is what we do. Well, my profile. Or you can upload them to a group. But I would really recommend uploading to a group if you're starting out. It lets you have a storefront where you can sell things. And as you can see, we don't have any items on sale here because we've sold them all in our personal catalog. But having a group, even if you do go through your profile, having a group is a great way to build a community.
All right, so say they made something and they love it and it's amazing. What insights could you give about the marketplace itself?
One of the questions people ask me a lot is, how do you come up with what you're going to make? How do you know what's popular? How do you know if something's going to sell? The truth is, no one knows if something is going to sell. But you can get some good ideas. And here's how. If you go to the marketplace, you can set up a page just like this. I like to sort by most popular, past day, and I also like to put in a minimum price of 15 Robux. This gets rid of all of the free items. So I look at this page, Madison looks at this page every day for I don't know. I'm always clicking on this page. We sort by past day because it shows us sort of what's doing really well right now, but past week is also a good option if you want to know like what's been doing well for a little bit longer of a time. And going here, scrolling down, you can get an idea of the sort of things that are selling well. What I like to look for is there a category of item that's doing well that is something I like to make? We've gotten into making avatar bodies, and some of that was seeing like awesome creations from other creators that inspired us, and we're like, oh, well, that's the kind of thing we want to make. So we just checked out this page. We scroll down. Any item that's up here in best-selling past day is selling really well. I obviously don't have the numbers off the top of my head. You can also click on them, check their favorites. A new item with a lot of favorites, like 89,000 favorites, is a ton. But even if we look at my recently created stuff, like we can see, we know my classic duck did pretty well because it has 167 favorites. That might not seem a lot compared to 87,000, but it just came out. And speaking of mine, you can also check out your own page by putting in your username or group name. So I just searched my name, and we can do the same thing again. We can go by most popular, past day. I don't have to set a minimum price because I don't have anything for free. And we can see, oh, the tiny duck, the baby chicken, the Mr. Big Cheese. There are all items that are doing well. And that sort of gives us an idea of the health of our items, of what's selling well, what we can do more of. When we made the friendly ghost during Halloween time, it shot up right away. And that told us, oh, maybe we can do more with ghosts, and we then made the sinister ghost. And both of those did really well during Halloween. Kind of observing what other people are doing, and then also understanding like what of yours is doing well is really important to generate new ideas, and to also know like what is going to sell well and what's not. There's no magic sauce to know perfectly. We never know. I remember when we made the squirrel suit, which is one of our best-selling items of all time, I didn't know it was going to sell really well. But a lot of UGC is just making what you like.
You mentioned that you had these ghosts based off of data that you got during Halloween, but at the time that this video is going out, that's not Halloween anymore. And presumably there's going to be Halloween again in the future. What would you do with the ghosts that you made last Halloween versus, new Halloween?
So I'm glad you brought that up, because one thing I do want to mention that I probably wouldn't have thought of otherwise is don't get discouraged if your item doesn't sell well right away. There are some items that never sell at all, but a lot of our items that ended up going on to sell really well, like the Possessed Horror we released at Halloween, and, the Ghosts did really well. Nobody bought the Possessed Horror. Nobody. And now it's like one of our best-selling items. So users will discover things at different times and get excited about things at different times, and you can never really know. As far as like information we learned from selling the Ghosts from last year, we sold a zombie in the same time period, and it didn't sell at all. So we know that like people like ghosts more than zombies. And that might change. That's why we constantly check the best-selling page. But now, next Halloween, and even before Halloween, we'll probably make more ghosts.
I also like to look at things that are trending, in the real world. Have that Halloween mushroom wizard hat. During the cottagecore trend a couple years ago, we were like, oh, a mushroom wizard hat would do really well because that's kind of cottagecore-y, and let's just do a Halloween version of that. Or we look at our stuff that we did last year, and you might be like, oh my gosh, my skills have improved so much that I think I could do that same idea, but do it a lot better this time because I've learned so much.
Look at how great this zombie mask is.
I could do so much better than that now. Oh man, it hurts.
Hey, that's 3.9 thousand people's favorite, okay?
That's true.
It made 16,000 sales, so and anyone watching this video can do better than this. Anyone.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, that's a really great segue for if anybody can do it. In the next video, Reverse Polarity is going to be teaching me how to model, and then Madison is going to be teaching me how to texture. So this is basically their beginner tutorial using me as a blank canvas who doesn't know how to model, who doesn't use Blender. And if I can do it, internet, I promise you can too. Okay, see you next time. Bye.